Hi, so I just wanted to show you, this is what I'm going to eat for breakfast. It's, I had to add some tallow because this was premium mince, but I don't want premium mince, I want 3070, but it's just cooking on the fire, the gas fire here, in a camping plate, so that reduces how many dishes. It's helpful in the caravan, but I think it's also probably a good idea in our lives. And I just want to say that by eating sort of this and some dairy and only eggs with butter in sometimes, because vitamin D, I just listened to a doctor that said that low vitamin D is a marker of digestive issues. I'll see if I can write his name in the description, but yeah, I sort of solved fatty liver and addressed my pancreas and my digestive system by going to mostly meat. And there are lots of doctors that have said that eating carnivore, they call it carnivore, it's just eating meat, is the best way for me and for anybody really that doesn't realise. Fruit has fructose, which is dealt with by the liver, and so most people have a measure of fatty liver because they're eating fructose. And so mine got so bad that I ate a third of a mango and vomited because it was fermenting in my stomach, in my digestive system. And my doctor told me, I said, how do I solve the vomiting? And he said, eat less. And I don't understand how I can eat less when I ate a third of a mango. And this happened over, a year or more. No, a couple of years. 2022, 2023. Yeah, a few years. More than 2 years. And so, yeah, when I was put into hospital, I was put into hospital in 2021, but it was the 10th of December 2021, involuntary. They were supposed to let me go 24 hours later because I had said I'd rather commit suicide than be homeless, which being homeless is just, you end up not being able to do anything because you're only in survival mode, what I call survival mind. And then on 3 days later, they apologised and put me a voluntary. I said, good, you can let me go now, you can let me go and deal with my issues. And they said, no, it doesn't work like that, and kept me for a month because I didn't have a home. Because Yun Fei Wang, Shi Tang and Cheng Yan Wu lied and refused to accept the money that was offered them, and then said that I owed them $13,000 in the Supreme Court. SECI 2021 VSC. 2021 VSC 685 Victoria. And Justice Croucher described perjury, didn't say the word perjury but described it, and then said that I said that it was okay to go ahead with the case, which isn't true. I said it needs to go to a court, a full court, not a tribunal court, a full court, to discuss all of the issues. And he said that I said that, and he also let someone speak for the people instead of getting a translator. And now everyone's screwed in the courts because all these non-white, non-English speaking people are going to come in and just use whatever they want. They don't have to even speak. And so that's anti-white in itself. But yeah, when I went into that hospital and they kept me for a month, I said I don't eat carbohydrates, meaning any sugars. And the dietitian said in the reports, in the paperwork, and that's all evidenced, that I believe that carbohydrates have no importance. And now we've got a whole bunch of people, doctors, medical professionals, saying that carbohydrates are not necessary. Fructose is more damaging than glucose, and that it damages the liver. So in that hospital, and that was Mercy Hospital and Fettke Hospital, that which is a government hospital, and they said they put in, instead of saying, sure, okay, you don't want any carbohydrates, and putting me to a proper diet, which is meat and eggs, and I had egg omelets for breakfast often. I didn't quite fully understand or comprehend the magnificence of having any kind of carbohydrates on plant food. So now, which is significance, meaning that it needs to not be done. We need to not have the animal shit. We need to not have the plant shit, and mostly go almost completely meat, if not completely meat and fat and eggs, if needed. And so the dietitian, after I said carbs have nothing for me and not to use them, she put in an extra banana for every meal. And bananas have about 6 teaspoons of sugar in them, the equivalent, and ended up putting rice and potatoes and all sorts of plant matter on my plates. And no matter what I said, the kitchen didn't listen. And so a sizable portion of my plate was rice, which is like putting little blades in my stomach. It's painful. It's highly sweet. There's nothing in it except carbohydrates. It's absolutely devoid of nutrient. Carbohydrates are not a nutrient. They're a poison. Fructose is a poison too. And all plant toxins, all plants have them because that's their protection. And so, that's why we think we can cook them out. Cooking only minimises them. It doesn't get rid of them, of course, because you can't get rid of the toxins. Even the World Health Organization says, certain things, plants don't have toxins. So there's a bunch of doctors. I'll see if I can list them in my thing. Anthony Chaffee and Paul Mason is my favourite. He's in New South Wales. Dr. Chaffee's an American, but he's in Western Australia. Robert Cywes, Dr. Eric Westman, he's a favourite too because he talks through really well. He's leaning towards carnivore, but he does low carb keto with his patients. So Dr. Candy Berry, and there's a whole slew of others. I'll list some, I'll list more. There's heaps and heaps of them now, recognising that low carb. See, I don't want this too cooked. I'm going to turn it off. It looks cooked enough. I want it slightly pinkish because you want it not too far cooked. See, this is the thing about meat. It can be cooked without actually being all blackened and yuck. Yeah, so and let it cool for a few minutes. Yeah, so then I you know, went about my way, and they didn't tell me the facts about me. So I ended up unable to eat, unable to drink even water, facing difficulties. So I tried different ways to get things to go down and digest. And I found that apple cider vinegar helped things go down. But what I didn't realise was my stomach was neutralised. And so it was worse than neutralised. It was dissolved, the opposite of acidic, which is alkalinic, which is really toxic for us. Just going to put you down while I blow my nose. So basically, excuse me. So basically, oops. What I was doing, even though it went down, it was in the opposite of acidic, which is abnormal for us as a people. And so it was making me to a point where I wasn't going to be able to eat at all, and I couldn't. And so when I was vomiting, I wasn't vomiting partially digested food. It was completely undigested, just mush food, if that makes sense. So it wasn't burning on the way back out. It just wasn't going in at all. I ended up in hospital, and they were still giving, when they gave me liquids only, because they thought I was in such a bad position. I was fine on Saturday. I went in on, I think, Wednesday. By Saturday, I was fabulous. They were poisoning me with 2 drugs, one that I said no to on paper. I asked them to take the drip out and let me go, and they wouldn't. They kept me hostage until Tuesday, when I was able to put in a complaint, because nobody was there to help me until the Tuesday. So Medicare paid for me to be abused a second time. Actually, it was a third time, because the first time I went to emergency about it, they ridiculed me and sent me on my way without the proper testing. And so the second time was the Footscray Hospital and Mercy. They were the second time. The first time was Footscray as well. There were no meat options at Footscray. And when I went in because of my digestion problems, that was also Footscray. And when they put liquids, they put flavoured milk, which one doesn't have any, the right fats because it's pasteurised and homogenised. And 2, it has additives and sugar and colouring, and which I can't have, and none of us can really have. It's going to catch up with you at some point. So when they found out that I had a little bit of problems with the liver, because they were trying to solve 70 on my number 70 on my lipase, which it's meant to be about, I don't know, I think 7 or something. It was way up. Because I was digesting my body fat. I wasn't able to eat or drink. And so I was dehydrated, but I was also using my body fat, which used up 20 kilos of fat, which was good in one way, but it wasn't actually because I was healthy. And my body automatically stores everything, carbohydrate, fructose, anything it can store. I can function really well on fat, but my brain triggers with PTSD, CPTSD. So my body just automatically I will get stupidly hungry. And I think I can eat more, but actually this is 500 grams of meat, and the only amount I've ever been able to eat is roughly half of it. And so I feel like I'm ravenously hungry, but I'm actually just ordinary hungry. And so if I'm out and about and I can't get meat and I eat carbohydrates, my body stores it. So it doesn't it doesn't help me, because I get hungry again because my body works on it and stores it. And everybody's body does similar. So carbohydrates can only be used if you're going to use them straight away, but they will catch up on you at some point. Nobody's telling you that. There are drug companies, there are people making money off drug companies. All the doctors make money by just following whatever's there at the time, blah, blah, blah. And we know that. And yeah, so the second time it's really the third time when I was in Footscray, they then moved me to, when I asked for broth, there was no fat in the broth. It was just salty water with additives, which is what they put out as that stock. But it's not healthy stock. It's salty, but it's tasteless. So the first couple of times I had it, it was good because I was already dehydrated and needed the salt. But after that, it tasted absolutely disgusting because there was nothing to it. There was no fats in it for my body to live off. And when they served up meals, they were serving up unripe fruit, and they were which I can't have fruit. No, not many of us can. Fruit is meant to be a treat, and people are just eating it like it's food. It's not food. And they were serving up, mostly fatless foods. And so the fish was good. Probably the fish was the best part of the food, because it was just a nice salty fish. You can't take the fat out of fish, so that was helpful. But the meat and veg was of no use, and because they didn't put anything with the fat, and to digest you need the fat. So I put in quite a bit of fat. I bought this fatty. This is from the butcher. It's just beef. It's beef. Well, it's a beef dripping. It's mostly tallow. It's got a little bit of stuff in it, but it's mostly tallow. It's just not purified tallow, which they can't call it tallow unless it's purified, so it's not, but it's beautiful. And I put in about that much, so more than a sixth of that. It wasn't quite a quarter, but yeah, so that's quite a bit. What's that? That's 400 grams total, so it would have been about a bit more than 60 grams to 500 grams, which isn't really enough fat, but it's good enough. It works for me. The meat will have automatically some fat in it, but it just isn't much. Isn't quite enough, but it's in the right form. So the tallow's good enough. It just doesn't absorb back into the meat, so you can see it around the edges a little bit. Yeah, so, and meat doesn't go good without the fat. It naturally has fat with it, and we've always gone for the fats in nature. So, and those who believe in God, that, don't believe in evolution, God ordained specific meats for our consumption in Leviticus. And while they said you can consume all the other fruit, the fruit that existed then was small and bitter, and it wasn't addictive, whereas now it's all very sugary, very modified, very manipulated by people over time. And because people are inherently inherently in for what's in for them. So when they've manipulated food and flogged it off to us and bullshitted with us and said, well, yeah, we'll follow the Seventh-day Adventist way, and all the religions are doing it, and all of the institutions are following Seventh-day Adventist way, which isn't the right way. Even it's not even biblical, because we've human people have manipulated everything and sold it off to us for years and decades and centuries as healthy when it isn't. So so that was the third time, and the most recent, they put me in hospital into Melbourne, John Cade Psychiatric, because so the first time was psychiatric. I was only meant to be there for 24 hours. They kept me for a month. Second time, I said I can't have the sugars, the carbohydrates and fructose, but they didn't listen. And the next time, I keep getting confused. There's 4 times, but one time was only I dropped in there and stayed a few hours and left again. So this 4th time was in the John Cade Psychiatric in Royal Melbourne Hospital. It was involuntary. They kept me for over 3 weeks, poisoning me with 3 different drugs to stop me from refusing to have a bank account. So they forced me to participate in foreign debt slavery over me and my own people and my own country. They broke the Criminal Code Act 1995, Commonwealth Section 268.99, failure to repatriate a people to their country. They ripped me back into the IMF bullshit, and instead of helping, Centrelink decided they were going to force me to be in AUD instead. So Centrelink's actually who sent me to the hospital to be poisoned and to be forced to take their foreign debt slavery instead of giving me our rightful money as in gold or silver. And instead of doing anything else about it, they forced me to have a bank account, which I didn't want and I still don't want. But since Centrelink is across the country, if they know where I am and if they decide, because they're across the entire country, they can put me in hospital anywhere. So they said they're not cancelling it. They're not whatever. I had enough of my own money, but it's now been used. And so this is the position we find ourselves in this country, is our own people don't buy from our own people. And so they buy cheaper shit from China and whatever else. Chinese people copy our stuff, and then we put our own people out. And this is the big issue. So in the Royal Melbourne Hospital, they had, I would say, that they had no food for me. None. Because their meat had no fat on it. It was produced outside the hospital, so it was all preserved type stuff. All of their steaks had stuff on it. They were marinated and all of this. Their chicken was dry without skin and without fat. My plate was loaded with vegetables and different things. They offered only fruit juices and pasteurized, homogenized milk. And like it just isn't healthy. And they had no eggs. And then they dared to say that I had a vitamin D deficiency and forced me to have tablets for that. Now, tablets are not even, it doesn't matter what the tablet is. If it's not founded in, ruminant red meat and the fat of that, it's not healthy. And so I can really only eat here, anyway, in this, in Australia, I can only eat beef with fat, lamb with fat, because lamb's naturally got lots of fat. So I find that the easiest. It's just expensive. Eggs with butter. And I eat other things, but to my detriment. It's not helpful or healthy. and fatty fish. And so, and I do have dairy, but in summer it's just too, I eat ice cream. But if I eat ice cream, I end up not eating anything else because it causes too much neutrality and it won't go together with the meat. So, and this is why we separate the milk from the meat, is because they're two different poles. Dairy is also addictive because it's got a substance in it that makes the little calf hungrier so that it makes sure he eats or she eats. So you got to watch for that, and that puts on also body fat because that's what it's designed to do. And so as grown-ups we need the meat, and that's why it says in the Bible, when a kid grows up he has meat. So child has milk and honey, and adult has meat. So yeah, it's turning a bit longer than I thought. Yeah, so in John Cade they didn't give me any eggs whatsoever, so I had no vitamin D in my diet, but they wanted to put tablets instead because, let's give you pharmaceuticals instead of actually giving you real food. And at the start, when I refused their food, they put me on meal watch and asked me every single time, what have you eaten, blah, blah, blah. So if I didn't eat their their vegetables and their fatless meat, they would put me on watch and put me in a different ward and put me on refeed. So you can't win when people are neglectful. They're neglectful because this information's been out for a long time. We knew it before. We thought that, oh yeah, you have to have all these carbohydrates and all this fruit and all this everything else. The new Swiss food pyramid has no meat on it. I mean, they're going to do that. They're going to say to people it's toxic to have meat, especially ruminant meat, where it's the complete opposite. So you need to pay attention to the everything is bullshit, okay? And so meat is good, and I find ruminants much easier, and sometimes fish, and yeah, I find it more satisfying. I don't end up hungry from it. Like, I don't need to eat lunch if I eat a decent morning breakfast thing. And I don't need the dairy too much. Like, I might have a little bit of it in the middle of the day as sort of just something, but I don't need it. And I'll eat the rest of this meat tonight, So, all these people eating sandwiches and all these different things, it's great, but I emotionally want to go back to those foods. In my mind, it's all familiar. It was comfortable and nice and whatever. But the problem is, it has in it that it's going to make us sick. It's going to make me sick, severely sick. And so the more I stall and go back to what is comfortable and buy jam and buy, have scones and sandwiches with chocolate and whatever else with other people, even fruit, the more I do that, the longer my problems will go. And if you're worried about cancer and different problems health-wise, it will absolutely profit you to look up the doctors that I've mentioned or that I'll mention in the comments. I'm going to write them down so I remember to take them when I go to the library, because this is absolutely critical. Doctors know, but not enough of them are obeying it. Oh, we can't help that because that's where the food comes. Yeah, you can. You're treating someone for fatty liver and giving them sugary milk with and jelly with additives in it and colors in it. It's not pure gelatin with water. with a little touch of salt or whatever. No. It's fully flavoured jelly. And the milk is fully flavoured coloured. Same as the jelly, but fully flavoured coloured milk. And it's not healthy milk. It's fully pasteurised, fully homogenised milk. Now, granted, out here, I can get it direct from a farmer if I want raw. And I can get it direct from a shop, pasteurised, non-homogenised, which pasteurised is the problem. But, you know, so I get a lot of the fat from the meat, so it's much easier. You could just go to the butcher and say, I want 30/70 and done. Beautiful. And it's cheaper. So the way to go, yes. Anyway, so the hospitals literally get paid to abuse you out of health whilst pretending they're saving your life. They weren't saving my life. They were poisoning me. Okay? In Footscray, they were poisoning me. I asked for the thing to be taken out of my arm and they didn't. I said, what happens if I walk out here with it in my arm? And they said, we ring the police. Oh, cannula. The cannula. I wanted the cannula taken out on Saturday. They refused to take it out. I knew I was better by Saturday. They were forcing me to have apple juice or orange juice, but I didn't touch the orange. But they were forcing me to have apple juice and then saying your sugar is unstable. Of course it's unstable. That's what sugar is. It's a poison. Your body works its butt off to get it out of your blood system. So it shoves it into fat fast. I've got insulin sensitivity, which most people do have, of my, people. They don't realise it. They're putting on a huge amount of weight because their body's getting the sugar shit out of their body as quickly as it can. So it's turning it into fat as quickly as it can. That's why you're fat. Whoever it is, if you're fat, that is. You're probably not fat. But yeah, so they forced me to stay. Well, so I couldn't leave. And when I said, if you don't get it out, I'm going to rip it out, they said that I was aggressive. So apparently I'm not allowed to ask for you to take the shit out of my arm, stop medically assaulting me, stop fucking hurting me and causing me to be sicker, and then claiming that it was making me healthier because I was already sick, so that's okay if they make me sicker. They wanted to take my gallbladder out. I said no, flat no, you're not doing it. Because I don't want to get fatter because I have to have carbohydrates instead of fat. And my brain, everybody's brain works on fat. Cholesterol is built by your body. So if you restrict your fat, you'll get high cholesterol anyway because your body will make it. And you'll end up with cholesterol. It has to do it. So I got away intact. And now I've got to get over the psychology of it, that I can't have the biscuits and the different things, the fruits and flavoured yogurts and all this other shit. I can't have any of it. So, and, if you don't like what I'm saying, that's okay. Stop now and walk away. Because these hospitals are abusing our people. Totally abusing our people. They're calling it mental health. It's not. It's psychiatric quackery. There are literally only 4 psychiatric issues. 6. There are 6 psychiatric issues. 6 of them. The rest is just opinionated and made up. And if you can say that me saying I made a skirt out of a pair of trousers, that's part of my illness, or defaming me and saying I punched a kid in the face when I was, I think, 8 or 10, because the little shit was following me and I told him 3 times to stop and he didn't stop, so I punched him in the face. Don't follow me. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, I'm a bully. That's what they wrote in my records, that I'm a bully. I was a bully as a kid. Bullshit. I was bullied all of my life. In fact, an Aboriginal man, a black guy, abused me. He was a teacher, an art teacher. And then all the little migrant children abused me as well. Racially abused me. Because I was a white kid of founding stock. Anzac stock. And so, yeah. So nobody's going to tell you that our children are being abused. They were still doing it when I was teaching. Okay, but anyone like me who speaks up gets their registration cancelled. You can't teach. Because they don't want you telling the truth. They don't want you standing up for children. And when Thomas Sewell goes and decides to start homeschooling and supporting homeschoolers, guess what? I'm a qualified teacher, Thomas. I want our children to know our people, our traditions, our strengths. We want to self-determine as a people. And we can do that with Steve 1 at Locusts and Honey channel. Go and do that. Make your scheduled oath. Come back into the Commonwealth or accept what they are doing, which is a foreign debt slavery. And they are silencing people such as me who are going about and putting into place the things that are required in the Commonwealth. And these chinks made me permanently homeless by lying in the tribunal, in the Civil Administrative Tribunal, and the Supreme Court accepted it and proceeded with the case, made me homeless and defamed me, my charity name, defamed my charity by defaming me. And it's all because Indians were racially abusing me. And I think that YouTube is not going to let this be put up, because YouTube is favouring foreign debt slavery over us and doesn't want us to self-determine. YouTube is breaking the law. YouTube is in support of genocide of our people. YouTube is not facilitating us to be repatriated to our Commonwealth, our Kingdom of Australia. It's ours. We initiated it in 2020, reinitiated from our lineages and our ancestry. And it's time to come home. If you don't want to come home, you accept homelessness, you accept foreign debt, slavery, you accept foreign occupants, you accept that Aboriginals can take it all from you. Even your language, deadly as a term, as a cool statement, is an Irish term. It's ours. They took that. They're taking our language, they're taking our place names, they're taking our Anzac heritage. We should never have let them among us. Never. We don't want them among us. We don't want them to be among us. We're happy to live side by side, but not with us. No. No. Because this is what they do. Look at America. Look at the difference, black and white. You can't do anything without being accused of slavery and bullshit. And all the time, we're under slavery. It's all the opposite. Come out of Egypt. Come out of her, my people. Revelation 18:4, I think. Come out of her, my people, so that you suffer not of their plagues. So their plagues are fake. Okay, the real plague is not looking at simple foods that we have always had in our diets. Fruit was only ever a sideline, a snack, once in a while, not even daily. And we knew that you had to have a bit of fat. When did that fall away? When the Seventh-day Adventists decided to get involved in our health, sanitarium, Weet-Bix kids. Aussie kids are not Weet-Bix kids. Aussie kids are meat, beef and lamb kids. Okay, so anyway, that's my 40-minute rant. It's not a rant. I just wanted to show you my, what I really literally do. And this is not because I'm being cheap. This is because this is the food of our people. It has been for many generations backwards. I do eat potatoes sometimes. So I've got potato in there, but it's been there for 2 weeks. I don't touch it. I just don't. I've got 2 pumpkins in there that were given to me, literally given. I don't want them. And they're just sitting in the fridge with the potatoes taking up room in my fridge because I just don't eat them. So I try to, and I used to love pumpkin soup. But after I got sick, everything tastes extremely sweet because I took a break and went for meat only for a while to clean out everything. I was still having vomiting attacks after I came out of that Footscray hospital. And once I stopped eating the bananas and everything, trying lemon and trying this, trying that, after I stopped vomiting. So I haven't had as much trouble. I have more trouble if I don't eat the fat. I get extreme pain in my digestive system. So that's it. We don't need fibre. We need meat and fat. There's a guy, Dr. Sean Baker. I got it from him that he also has adapted completely to carnivore living, what we call carnivore living. And he said he has trouble if he doesn't have the fat. He has to actually consume fat because he went somewhere and there was only plant materials, and he got digestive problems from it. And so when you go back to living the right way instead of trying to force wood down your system, it's nicer, it's pleasant. The food eliminates well, and just your body can use it. So anyway, I'm going. Good morning. Have a great day. It's going to be hot again, which is problematic, but you get stuck with your lot in life sometimes. Have a good one, and thank you. Go to Locust and Honey. Bye.